hot one. I'm in the woods though, so that's okay. I'm working on the driveway. A couple hours in, this is the first day I'm doing this. This is the Western Trail. This tree, I thought it was dead. It was laying on the ground, and I ripped it out of there. And I followed it up, and it had all leaves up here, so it was growing, laying on its side. But it had to go anyway, because it was right here. So I'll show you. I'm fighting with this stump. That's the poplar tree that I took down for the shed. And I got our first obstacle. So this is my first switchback. And this is I've only been doing this a couple hours. It's been going great. So I cut my trail in here, my initial trail. And I'd really like to get out that stump and that stump. So, but this is my switchback. And I have already, now this feels very much like clay. I'm really hoping that it's some form of shale. That would actually be a good thing. I could break it up and take what I need, but it goes from here all the way up to there. I don't know how far over this way it goes, but we got quite a, all right, so it goes to about there. We got quite a deposit here, but it feels like clay. I mean, you could break it apart like that, so maybe it's not that big. And I'm gonna have to get the chipper out here because I'm taking down some small trees that are in the way. One of the reasons that we planned going the way that we did was to avoid some enormous trees, if that makes sense. We really don't want to take down trees bigger than, say, like 8 inches, just because we'd like a really nice mature forest. So, okay, I got that shale up there. I'm pretty certain that jackhammer will get through it. And I also have this guy here. So let's see what happens here. I'm gonna fire up the generator, plug in the jackhammer, and let's see what kind of rock this is. Not as great as I would hope, because that's the same blue rock that Meg encountered on the driveway on the other part. I don't know what it is. Here's a close-up shot of it though. It's pretty solid too. Second piece came off nice, but it's I don't know, looks like it's got a big clay deposit on top, and then after that it's pretty solid. That's kind of scary. It's giving me that much trouble already. Well, we'll keep at it. All right, the one down the trail that I was just messing with, that's bad, but this is even worse news. This is the same type of rock. And this one is, well, that one's Big Daddy. Yeah, let's see if I can, let's see. Let's just go at it. See what happens here. This makes me a little nervous. This whole mountain made of it. Holy cow.
So John's been fighting with this stump for a couple hours now. We're a little bit discouraged with our start here. It's quite a challenge to start this way. This is how it stands right now. And now the latest problem is I think we disrupted a beehive of some sort because there's all these bees flying around, which there were before. John didn't get stung. They seemed to move when he stepped in there, but John wanted to take a little bit of a break. I said, I'll go try to tackle it. He said he didn't want me to try to use the tractor without him because it's kind of in a precarious angle and the soil's not hard and I'm not nearly as familiar with the tractor as John is, so I'm not going to try to use the tractor. I can't get the jackhammer going on my own. I can never pull the generator cord fast enough, so. And I'm not going to use the chainsaw, so I'm kind of limited. But I'm going to try something. I brought a hatchet. I brought a crowbar and a sledgehammer. Well, half a sledgehammer. The handle broke off, so just the heavy part of the sledgehammer. And I'm going to see what I can do. Every little root that's hanging on. Get all the little ones, maybe it'll let go. See? See, I think if this side looks like that side, it'll come out. But we can't get the tractor up here. It's too steep. All right, I'm thinking about cutting this because it probably goes down pretty deep. And it'll be easier to just cut it and we can get the rest of the root out later. John, today is the day. Just stump comes out and maybe you shave. It's okay. I like your stubble. Oh, you got further than me.
Well, see, it's
you have a
really...
bigger axe.
Huh?
You have a bigger axe.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp. We've tried everything with this stump. And, I mean, the backhoe, the jackhammer, the chainsaw. Chainsaw was great, but, man, it gets dull super quick. And it's frustrating.
I even tried the crowbar for a minute.
The crowbar?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, this is, it's got to go. Our switchback's going to be right here. Beyond this is a stone. That isn't going to be very nice.
Yeah, we didn't plan to have to take out this stump, did we? We were gonna go over here, but the thing is that there's a rock here, and the rock is a lot harder than getting this stump out. So the stump's got to go.
And there's a widowmaker right here.
Yeah, that tree's got to come down.
I mean, that's got to come down, period. And then there's another pretty much twin stump next to it, too, which I can see right here. It just seems like it's going to need to come out, too.
All right, well.
So, we're going to try just putting some elbow grease into it and knocking out like these individual legs here. Chainsaw is great, but it gets dull too fast, and I don't want to ruin the chainsaw. We're going to try to just weaken this enough so that then I can fire up the backhoe again, and maybe get these main roots from like anchoring it down so much. Maybe we could get it to move a little bit at that point.
Yeah.
And get the dirt off of it, then maybe we could get the chainsaw going again. But we've tried everything on this thing, and last night I'm like, I'm just going to go, I'm going to keep the beard, I'm going to go out there and be a woodsman and just bring an axe. And I hope the extra length of beard this morning helps.
We're gonna cut the tree into a pizza.
We are, yeah.
And try to, we're gonna take the chainsaw.
Hey Meg, do you see this as a challenge,
and
or
do
is this like annoying and
pizza.
like we're completely overmatched what we're doing?
No, it's a challenge.
Okay.
And then we're gonna pull out each piece of pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah. We're gonna cut it into pieces of pizza.
Yeah, we're gonna hunk out this. We're gonna get most of the trunk out of the way, since that's, like, we'll cut off here, all the way around. Get that out of the way, number one. Number two, then get the new top and cut it down into wedges, so that then we could take like this wedge and pull it out with the backhoe. With any luck.
In theory.
With any luck, yeah. Now, is that gonna work?
Only one way to find out. Can we burn it out?
About to grab the wedges and just whack it out of there. There's one little dinky root holding that whole thing in, I bet you.
John's resorted to hacking away at it with the axe. I'm not sure if he's taking out frustration or he's getting somewhere though.
I've eliminated a few runners.
Uh-huh.
And I think collectively they're holding on just enough. I bet you I could get it now with the backhoe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Day 4. The stump.
We haven't been doing this for 4 days straight.
It's the 4th day. We haven't been doing this like the whole time, but Stump is coming out today. I know I said that yesterday. Ugh. Here, John.
See, I think
I'm carrying the jackhammer.
I think if we just loosen this up with the jackhammer. It's going pretty good right there. Let's get the jackhammer so I don't have to swing anything.
I'm really hoping this works this time. I mean, I'm hoping every time, but I'm really hoping this time. I'm tired of dealing with this stuff. Had enough of it. Yeah, John! Look at that smile. Finally! There's no roots going straight down.
No?
No. There aren't any. There was none going straight down. They were all around the outside. And I think it's because this is a rock.
That's the creek we put in. I wish it was like that all the time. It's very nice. Nice to listen to. It's very overgrown right now. But so, you know, living in the country, it seems like your kids go back to like simple living too, just like you do. And I just caught my kids down here in the road. Well, they asked. They asked if they could go down here, but look what they're doing. Hey girls, can you show us what you're doing, please? Come up here.
Come on, Autumn. Autumn, come on. Coming. Wait up, click, click. We're just playing Enchantimals and making a boat race.
You see?
With Scribble Scrubby tubs.
All right, cool. Scribble Scrubby tubs.
And we're fixing the
Is
course.
this thing, hold on a sec, Clara. Is this thing like all foggy? Looks foggy. There.
Yeah, we're making the course better.
All right, so.
Look, let's see. Let's test. No, that part's too...
Did you guys get it to run down the whole way yet?
Not yet.
No? All right, honey, let's not kill the road like that.
Okay. So, let's do a boat race. Go!
There they go. They're boat racing. I like how when you guys have to pick up your own boat, you put it in front of the other person's boat. Autumn's got the lead, and then Claire puts hers in front.
Coming. You're excited. Oh no! Oh, ah! Yeah. Hey, guys.
Kids, for those of you worried that they're in the road, you could hear a car from like, I don't know, like half a mile down the road before we see it. It's a gravel road, and it's pretty washed out right now. Just had a massive rainstorm.
And John's ready to work. What are we doing, John?
We're getting closer to a washer and dryer.
Yay!
It is very soon. So we plan on doing a lot of electric circuits in here, and what we're doing the first two to satisfy the dryer and the washing machine. So there's a couple things we need to do plumbing wise to do that. But the main part is we need to hook up a sub panel. So we should go show you the meter outside real quick. Come with me. To refresh your memory. Also, see, we are organizing. All of this stuff, like there's soldering stuff, there's wire nuts, there's clamps, garden hose stuff, chalk line stuff, like all these things have certain containers. We're gonna find a nice area in the shed to house all these things and label them. All right, here's our meter. Now, a lot of times on residential homes, you just have a meter. That's it, and it goes into your main breaker. But this is a meter combo, which means it has a main breaker in the meter. So the electric company has this side, and everything below it I can modify. So if you look in here, here's what I did. And we can unscrew this and show you the stuff here. So we got a couple circuits here already, like my septic pump, the high water alarm, which is this. Yeah. And then the well takes up 2 spaces, and the RV is on this little 120 volt 30 amp circuit. So what we're going to do, we're going to move this guy over here, and then that will give us 2 spaces. I'm going to put a 100 amp circuit in this 2 space, which will then fill up this whole box. That 100 amp will be passed through the wall through Schedule 80 conduit, and it will feed that sub panel. Now, the nice thing about this thing, see, I can't get under here. We ran the power from the power pole, and it goes in here to their meter, and then it passes down to my circuits. But before going to the circuits, it has a big 200 amp, we have 200 amp service here, by the way. But this thing has a main breaker of 200 amps right here in the box. So this doubles as a safety switch too. So if this building was on fire and the fire department came out here, they'd be able to come over here, hopefully safely, and kill this power, and then they'd be able to put out the fire without risking like getting electrocuted in the process. So that's there on the outside. On the inside, we don't need another main breaker, we just need a main lug. And a lug is it's basically a sub panel. So keeping this in mind, we're going to be, when we remove this panel, there's going to be a hole that goes right through this wall, through the exterior wall here, and into that sub panel. So this is where the power is coming from. I'm not an electrician, I'm just an owner builder. I've signed the proper paperwork where the county allows me to do what I'm doing here. So, but if you're not comfortable doing this type of stuff, working next to live power and things like that, I really don't suggest you do it at all. It can really hurt you very quickly. It can
kill you.
Yeah, to be less morbid, but to be morbid, it can kill you real quick. So you have to understand what safety precautions need to be taken place before you start any of this work. I feel comfortable doing it on my own. I've done my research, my studying, and I've had enough experience in the past. So with that said, let's get to work. All right, now let's get our drill and go right through the center, okay?
Okay.
And that's basically gonna mark this board from the other side. It'll mark the wall where we need to cut it. It'll mark a bunch of stuff.
Do you want one of your really long drills?
Yeah, I have a big 3/8 inch bit. Hey, Mom, can you see me? Mom? You got me?
Yeah.
Mom, the power's off, okay? I don't wanna make you scared. I killed the power, so, okay? I know I'm like my dad, but not that much. That looks pretty centered. Now the pole power is coming up through here, it's shielded and it goes into the meter, so nothing's in the way here. Okay, we called it quits last night, had to do homework with the kids, and now we got the pipe, I got the swoop installed. It's not in place on the other side through the meter or from the outside box. But anyway, it's gonna shoot up this way, and our sub panel is gonna get mounted right there, right in that rectangle area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill in this area. I'm gonna make it flat so that the sub panel could be mounted flat against it instead of there being negative space behind it. There she is, fresh out of the shower. There's my girl. Easy, tiger. We have to buy these. So I bought 1-inch metal conduit. I wanted everything in metal, so everything's grounded. And no rodents can get in the shed and nibble away at things. A lot safer in my opinion. So, but the thing is, we're gonna run our other circuits with 3/4 and 1/2 inch conduit, which we'll buy. So we went ahead and bought this, because we got a lot of work to do. This is going to cut, I've always wanted one of these, we got it now. But it only handles 3/4 and 1/2 inch conduit. The 1-inch, it looks like it's intentionally not, like it's just barely not able to fit in there. They do sell a 1-inch guy, which services like 1 3/4, but that was like $100, and then it wouldn't be able to do the 1/2 inch stuff that we're gonna run. So anyway, we decided to get the 1/2 and the 3/4 and spend the money on some bends for the 1-inch pipe, because we're only running one of those. So we have, how many of these did we buy? We bought 1, and then we got to turn the corner, 2 and 3. So we should have 3. Did we buy 4?
We bought 3.
We bought 3? Okay. Just found something, guys. Look at this. I was just reading this. I was like, what? I was looking for a strip gauge, but these are just like your classic loop it around deal. So I'm working with 12 gauge strip 12 wire. Look at this. They put a stripper, a wire stripper, right on the receptacle.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I mean, if you're in a pinch, I'm not going to depend on that to be there, but that's cool, Eaton. Good job. Now, like, guys, I wanted to try to start a little conversation here. This is how I'm doing my electric box, and I looked up the National Electric Code, and there seems to be a little bit of debate going on online, and I don't think I'm going to change any of that debate with what I'm doing here. I think I'm just going to further poke the hive, if you know what I mean. People do it one way, people do it another way. But anyway, I'm talking about section 230 in the electric code, or the National Electric Code, which says where your feeder wires, which are here. So my meter is on the back here, and it's coming through the wall, and I have this conduit coming up, and my entry point is on the bottom. So section 230 basically says that your feeder wire should come through the bottom at its closest point. So I did this way just because it was the shortest run to get the wires into the box. Okay, I have 2 gauge wire here. I have 2224. Okay, that I'll be using aluminum, which is good for 100 amps according to the code. And what I'm going to have to do here is take the 2 hots, okay, take those 2 conductors and come around this way and come into the 2 lugs up here. The neutral and the ground, I'm going to come to the ground here, and then the neutral will come around here and go this way. So basically there's nowhere in the National Electric Code that states how long that unprotected conductor can be. It's kind of like an at your own discretion thing. And people argue either way. Should I have turned this meter or this sub panel upside down? There's not going to be a main breaker here. The main breaker's on the opposite side. I have a meter combo. This is just a sub panel. So this is the way I'm doing it here. And I didn't want to run the pipe up to the side. I didn't want to run it and then have a swoop over to the top and come out through the top. I'm coming with the feeder wires out through the bottom, and that's the way I'm doing it. And people argue it both ways, so I was just wondering what you think. And if we could start a friendly conversation, okay? Don't put anybody down and don't be nasty. Just, I mean, have a healthy conversation about what you would do and why you would do it the way you do, or if you're okay with it the way I'm doing it. On another point, so this is a Square D box, a Homeline. I think it's a 125 main lug kit. So you could look at the size of the knockouts too, and I mean, I kind of took that as a sign as to that the feeder wires could come through the bottom. So I didn't know any of this beforehand. I'm not an electrician, but I did look it up in the code, and that's where I found that conversation and the arguments back and forth. I was hoping I didn't come in the wrong spot, because, you know, I could have come in this way or on the top here. That would have been difficult because I would have to come up and around. That would have been silly. If I were to do it again, I probably would have come along the side and maybe put a 2-inch elbow here. That'd be a tight turn for this 2 gauge wire though. And then, so that's a quick, you know, as far as exposed wire, I would just come here, 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 and then go around here and here. I could have done it that way. Let me know what you think, okay? So, anyway, let's get back to wiring up our panel. Alright, well, I decided to put them all on one side. And I'll be completely honest, guys, I don't like it. I don't like how I did it, but I'm kind of at a point of no return with the line that I ran here already. I knocked out that, and I knocked out this too. I didn't want to go to the store and buy a knockout plug, and then move all this around to its new position too. I should, if I were to do this again, I would definitely take this, just move the box, offset it, you know, before I get started on these circuits. I'd slide that over so that this tube can come up and make a turn in and come through this top left knockout here. Then, instead of all of this wiring being exposed, I could have simply just entered here and go to this hot, go to neutral, and then send my ground to here, or even just change the lug to this side and come in right here. Yeah, I'd probably go right there, shorter run. So I don't think I did too bad a job. This is just the sub panel, so I feel fine about it. It's just, you know, maybe my OCD in me. But there we go. There's that's our main lug. Now what we're gonna do is let's figure out where these guys need to go. They really don't give you a choice. These came knocked out already. So let's see what I got here. I have a 20 amp and a 30 amp right here, which I'm gonna be putting in. This is gonna be my washing machine, and this is going to be my dryer. And then the outlets will be GFCI protected. And then I'll just have a 15 amp light circuit. So really we're doing 4 circuits in the shed here. Dryer, washing machine, and then we'll have 2 other ones. A 20 that will be for outlets, and then a 15 will be for lights. I think that's all we're gonna be doing. So let's take our 30 amp. We'll be putting our 30 amp circuits right there, and we will occupy space number 2 with our 20 amp circuit. So it'll look like that by the time I'm done today. Time has come. Really excited. This just showed up in the mail. We got a 2-pole 100 amp breaker. Sub panel is hooked up. I have black and black, both going to the 2 poles on the 100 amp breaker here. I have the neutral coming up to the neutral lug on the neutral bar, and then I have the ground going up to the grounding lug on the meter combo kit. Now, bending these wires around, I just decided to unhook everything. Let's take care of these neutrals real quick. I don't even like the looks of that one. Let's clip him off, give him a fresh head, and we will will be good to go. Panel's all wired up. I got the cover back on, and the moment of truth, before I turn the main power back on, I turned each of the circuits on individually, last being the RV, which is this 30 now. I have to relabel everything over here. But this is our sub panel. 100 amps, holy smokes. There we go, they are all on. I'm gonna run inside and make sure everything looks good. Let's plug something in. Can't plug in the dryer yet, but. So, alright, let's open up this guy. Everything feels good. Is this on yet? Okay, so I'm gonna turn on this 20. Okay, which means I'm gonna leave this off because I'm not gonna be using it while I have it on. So the 30 is that one on the right. The dryer, that one's the washer. Let's plug in that angle grinder you guys give me a hard time about. Be good if the plug wasn't bent. Alright, that's plugged in. And do we have juice? Oh yeah! We got juice, baby. Oh, that's fantastic. Alright. Okay. Mission accomplished, guys. I'm pretty proud of myself. Wired up a sub panel. And we ran a 20 and a 30 amp circuit through our sub panel. Came out through the bottom. So that's pretty much it. All right, with the completion of our 2 circuits in there, we're ready, believe it or not, for a washer and dryer. I'm gonna go pick them up. In between now and then, I'm going to be piping in the drain for the washing machine and also the air vent through the brand new beautiful roof. We gotta cut a hole and put an air vent up there and then run a water line. We're not gonna have hot water, we're just gonna have cold water for the washing machine. But we're gonna run that and do the plumbing like I said, and we will be up and running and have at our disposal washer and dryer in our new shed here.
We wanted to catch you up on a few things. We left off with that the inspector was coming on Monday. The inspector came, he gave us the thumbs up.
2 of them.
He said that'll work. That's what he says.
He checked our frost-proofing, everything inside the shed for the pressure tank and everything involving the RV, like the water and all that stuff.
Yeah, so all that is good to go. It was just kind of a formality to have him come out. He just wanted us to fix those few things, and we did that, and he said good.
Just so you know, the dogs are chasing each other right now, so that's what's going on. We're not about to get attacked.
So, while the inspector was here, we took advantage of asking him a few detailed questions because he's the one who's going to ultimately be inspecting our home. First, we wanted to ask him, can we use our own milled lumber for the house?
The answer to that was you can, but it needs to be graded by a lumber inspector. Has to get that stamp of how it was graded, and then that can be applied to the span and species tables telling you what type of load that piece of lumber could hold. So, yes, you can, but there's things you need to do beforehand.
And the other question was that what kind of stamps do we need on our drawings of the structure?
And that, surprisingly, was you don't need one.
None.
As long as all of the math is shown regarding loads and all that on our structure, and as long as we can prove to him that everything is dimensionally correct and can support a load, we are good to just submit them, our own plans to them, and they will review them and
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll make sure everything is up to code as far as our dimensional lumber.
Yeah. Not going to use our own milled lumber for anything structural in the house, but we're going to use it everywhere else that we can.
Siding, interior,
Siding, flooring, cabinetry. We're going to be milling a lot of wood.
baseboard, crown molding, everything. We're going to be using cedar and poplar. Poplar on the outside, board and batten, cedar maybe some areas for shingling.
Yeah.
We'll do metal roof, and inside we're going to be doing everything poplar that you normally buy all your trim work for. And that will save us a lot of money and just be very satisfying for us to use some of our own lumber.
Yeah, and something else we wanted to throw at you guys for your opinion on. 1 or 2 stories. We cannot decide. We keep going back and forth. There's advantages and disadvantages to both ways of doing it. Some of our arguments, if we were to do 2 stories, we'll have less of a foundation, less of a roof, less of a footprint. The 1 story...
Well, it would also sit up nicely because it's going to be at the top of the mountain, so we'll get better views. And 2 stories, the heat, it'll be heated by wood. We'll have a wood stove in there, and we're thinking that the heat would be able to travel to the 2nd floor because that's going to be kind of like a loft. Well, not a loft. There's going to be a loft, and then there's going to be 2 bedrooms upstairs with a Jack and Jill bathroom, and that's it. But it'll be open to below, so all that heat can come up and warm up the upstairs instead of everything being stretched out on the single story.
Yeah, and the single story, it would be safer for us to work on. That's one thing that I think about. And as far as like maintenance things, if you have to get up onto the roof, things like that, it's just much easier for us to get to. Cleaning out gutters, things like that. Our previous house was 3 stories, and cleaning out the gutters was terrifying. So we know what that's like.
That was annoying.
Yeah.
2 stories it's a different story.
Get it?
I get it. It's a different story though, because like an extension ladder, you could reach the gutters no problem. This house that we sold, that was a totally different beast. Yeah, that's like really, if you fall off that roof, you're dead. That was really high. So
what do you think? Do you think we should do 1 story or 2 stories? Either way, the master bedroom is going to be on the 1st floor. Mm-hmm. And
we don't really care about turning 80. We're high 30s right now.
Soon,
we're not even 40 years old, but I don't care about planning that far ahead. We're gonna probably have another chapter in our lives, and I'm not going to. I just want to build the best house for us at this point in our lives, not 40 years from now.
Yeah. So what do you think? 1 or 2 stories? Tell us. Give us some insight.
Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the outtakes. Oh my God. What did I say about being 80?
This curl thing going on with your hair. That's kind of cool.
All right.
Not as easy as it looks on TV. This is Clara's version of my painting. She did awesome. You got everything.
I don't know, Mom. Might have to use Clara's.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Daddy, I'll tell you where we are.
I like the rainbow over the heart.
Yep. Very pretty, honey. Be careful, don't drop it.
Good job.
Careful. All right.
We're moving on to another idea. What's the idea now, John? Pizza?
Pizza?
No, we're gonna cut it into a
I thought
pizza.
You had a pizza at the
No.
RV.
No pizza.
I want pizza.
No, it's moments like these. I'm glad I got the warranty on the Jackhammer.